45 here. And we're going to be playing some Hearts of Iron. And Arno is first. Yes, my friend, good to have you here. Very good to have you here, my friend. I hope life is going well for you. So, Arno, did we try to do it all, or should we try to do one thing right? And meaning, I'm looking here. I'm seeing a bunch of divisions here invading our friends, the Iraqis. I'm getting ready to counter-invade here, which is good, and I think we can do this. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine indeed. And I was wondering, should we try to do something of a late invasion of the Soviet Union this year? We just have Guderian force up here in the north. All Arno is for all. I half guessed that would be the case, and we have the SS Corps there, mostly just motorized divisions of various types and strengths. And we have Papa Haas force here of 2 motorized and 3 panzer divisions. I don't count this as probably going to be very good. Oh, well, I don't know. Might be all right, light tanks, but yeah. Would that be better to send the armor down here and really the USSR in a month or two, and in Syria cut off Iraq? Yeah, well, yeah. Well, we're gonna shift some forces. We'll see what we can do. Okay. Arno says do it all. We are definitely landing here. Look at the supply levels. We are hurting so badly because of lack of partisan suppression. And bombing. And bombing. All right, well, let's make an episode. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4's World Ablaze mod. And we are currently in late June 25th, 1941. And we have a big decision to make. To some degree, it's going to rest on victory or loss here, I'm sure. We're going to see how this goes. But I want to say welcome to everyone. I am making this live, and Arno says do it all. My question was, do we try to do it all, or do we try to do one thing well? The all is already a late invasion of the Soviet Union, and pushing down here because we have our friends the Iraqis, which are going to be beat by, just to put everybody else including Ethiopia here, we could send Papa Hoth Corps down here to really sort of give them tanks in their rear and push hard. Or we can keep Papa Hoth, and we need to do this if we are going to go after the Soviet Union. Because we have Guderian up here, we have Kruger here, DSS, some are okay, some are... Yeah, that isn't too bad, but this infantry division, and again Papa Hoth with one Hungarian light division tank here, tank division, light tank division, I don't know, whatever. And we have this one newly formed division. Well, this is tough, and I think I'm going to go with Arno's suggestion because he's here. Now, hey, everyone out there, remember, who's watching later on YouTube, I normally stream on Saturdays and Sundays. Saturdays for Hearts of Iron. If you want to join, participate. Love to have more people there. But you know, or you can on Twitch. Oh, I also want to say hi to those few, very few I know, who watch me over on Rumble. I do believe in supporting alt text sources for the day that I will be banned. Someday I will be banned on YouTube. I know it. I'm just not the right type of person here. Hello, Road Manor. How you doing? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to do it all. So we're going to send this division down to Greece. We have Rommel's Corps sitting here. And we're shifting a few more sources. Hopefully in a few days we will see about, well, what we need to start doing here is, how big is this air base? 1,400, okay. Soviet sector, I think it's, no, that's an ours. Okay. Let's that sort of super squadron here. Baltic states. Well, why is Romania necessarily? I mean, I could do that. I mean, there's not that much stuff here. Okay, so that means we will have air up over the Baltic states, just sort of the southern half. I hate this mechanic of air zones. I wish it was this mechanic of the like Hearts of Iron 4, meaning a circle on the air base. But we'll have some over western Belarus. And we'll have some over Romania here just at first, because this part was where we're going to have to come across. Boarding Russia, so they need extra air they can get. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's look and see. No, we can't. Let's start Lend-Lease. Let's see what we have here. $42. Okay, we're just going to do this. Okay, well. This is what Arno says to do. Hey, Eric. Good to have you here. Let's send naval bombers to these Black Sea. We may do that. Very good, Eric. I'd love to hear about it sometime. Maybe, well, I don't know. Hurricanes. Yeah, I guess we can give them the hurricanes. I'm going to keep these just as a backup for us, but yeah. All right. We'll give Romania, well, yeah, we'll also give them these guys. 8 once. Give them some more air. Yeah, send them down there once, get them all out, get them down there. Now, I think I got it all to over to once. Each individual one. Okay, let's let the clock run a little bit here. Ian Island Spanish divisions down there. How nice of them. Well, let's do some Atlantic Wall preparation. What? Okay. What is our current production looking like? Okay, enough of that. Almost enough of that. Hate not having control of mechanics. Why? Why are we sending supplies to here? Why? Got a port over here. We send them here. Just don't get it. I wish I had control over it. I wish, I wish, I wish. Okay, well, let's look at the tanks now that we have that. I knew... Okay, we can do both of these. Yeah, let's do that. This is the Panzer. Oh, we'll go to the F to the L and the D. We're going to skip the F. We're going to wait for the next model. Keep producing. Keep producing. Okay, well, and research, research, research. Let me get these healed faster. All right, now let's look at our decisions. Mineral staff, changing, planning. General debug, prepare offensive. Operation Barbarossa. You sure about this, Arno? I'm going to save it just here. This is what Arno would do if he were playing, so he says. Or maybe it's just what Arno wants to see crash and burn. Yeah, that's why I did the save. If it goes bad, they got a nice little fortified line here, but let's see here. Infantry division is going to attack there. It's going to attack there. The other three going to attack there. Into one of those divisions. They'll get support from the railway artillery there. Here.
Zuhören. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Here.
Achtung. Befehle.
Down here, we're hoping that
Bereit.
we can just push through this weak Soviet force here.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
Up along this rail line. Take these other 7 divisions. Come here. Along this rail line to Odessa. We'll see really how important rail lines are or aren't.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Division will attack there, and those 2 will attack up there to pin those forces. How long have I been playing Hoi for? I presume you don't mean today. Since before it was released, I was one of the beta testers. When they let non-company employees beta test it, so I've been playing it that long. Now this is World Ablaze, so a lot of things have been changed. Hello, Brad the Chad. Good to have you here. And this is my first playthrough with this version of World Ablaze. So in a way, I very much still think I'm learning it. How this works, and we'll see. Okay. Now we are going to have lost all of our Soviet trade elements, so 25. Have, yes, French state can give us a little bit of rubber. Didn't work out so well. This is all Arno said to do this. Arno said to do this. I was against it. I was firmly against it. We'll see how it goes still here. Down here it's going well. Up here it isn't. Okay, so we pushed into here. Good. You can hit there, you can push up to there. Now, Panzers. Panzers vor. Panzers forward. Get with our Panzers. The infantry divisions will move. Here.
Zum Ausrücken. 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 Ausrücken.
Just be going there, you stupid.
Befehle.
Uh-oh. So he's bringing in wicked allies. Okay, why did you retreat? No one said to retreat. You support that attack. You march around this way to cut them. Invasion here. Okay. What? What? 42 days? 3 divisions? Oh god, no, I only wanted 2 divisions to land, I thought. Now, yeah, that's what I want. There we go. I didn't want 3 divisions, I wanted 2 divisions, so I wanted to get over there fast. So we're pushing out there. You guys attack up here again. Oh, I should slow this up. Hopefully it's gone into the Soviet war, just what we need. Send naval bombers to Black. No, I haven't. Mainly because this was happening up here. I should. See, we need more fighters here, so let's. How big of 200 airplanes? 700 they could hold. Okay. Let's at least get a fighter squadron going back in here. 60 is probably not enough, but it'll be some. Put them up here. I think where we really need the is in the in the Baltic, Arno. Let's put 2110s up to help support operations there. I would like to. I just don't think I have enough. I don't know if I should remove my current naval strikes in other important regions here, trying to control this area. You're the one that wanted me to do it all, Arno. You're already falling back. Wow, okay. No one said to do that, though. You really want to join the war, don't you? Okay. You want to join the war? Okay. How are we doing pushing into here? We've got divisions here, so let's push these this way. These down here. These 4 divisions push up into there. And these 2 will add to the punch deep into the Soviet rear, which is more of a dream than a reality, but hey. This is sort of working out as hoped. Yeah, there's Arctic convoys up there. I don't know how I'm going to get to them from the Black Sea if I send my aircraft down to the Black Sea. There. Good. You keep trying to pin those divisions down. Back from there, and you guys support from there. Up there fast and hard. Good. Good. Let's move these motorized divisions that way too, I think. Hello, Knight Sergeant Huntman. Can you get Finland to attack? Well, they for some reason left the Axis. They're not in my faction, so no. It would be awfully nice if I could, but currently the answer is no. Even though Uncharted, the primary developer of this, I know he's gotten a lot more help nowadays than originally, is really trying to make World Ablaze realistic instead of fantasy. I really look at Hearts of Iron 4 as a fantasy game. But even with this, Norway and Denmark declared war against Germany, which I don't see as a reasonable historical event. You know, I just don't see that as something that was reasonable and historical under the conditions. So there's a lot of unhistorical things that happen with this game, and even with the mod trying to do a good job. There, we're pushing there. Will we ever get... Okay, they're coming down here.
Bereit zum
We'll
Ausrücken.
give him to Rommel. There are
Bereit.
there.
Angetreten. Ihre Befehle.
Good push.
Ausrücken. Angetreten.
Keep on going. Okay, you're gonna stop there. You're gonna go up to there. You guys are pushing that way. You guys are coming up that way. Good. They're getting the benefit of the railway gun. Not really. Okay.
Befehle. Angetreten. Befehle. Achtung.
I was getting 2 divisions to come to.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Down there while we're trying to create a pocket here of
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
lots and lots of
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Nazi, so we should move you down here. Um,
Bereit.
go that way. Across the river there, we're coming across there, so you push against those guys. You push against these guys, pin all those armor divisions and others. Yes, others too, but
Zuhören. Angetreten.
Darian's doing well. He's achieving his goals.
Ihre Befehle. Ihre Befehle. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit. Ausrücken.
Going back for some reason, not quite sure why, but yeah, it might have to do with that tank attacking, but
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ausrücken.
Some of these attacks like this one isn't meant to succeed, it's just meant to delay them from getting into this battle here. Okay, well, you come to work on cutting that off.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Zuhören.
Hello, Bree PM, how you doing today?
Achtung.
These guys are pushing there, so we're going to give some counter push, often known as a counter attack.
Befehle. Ihre Befehle.
We got these guys. Well, let's do sort of a blossom.
Zuhören. Zuhören. Bereit.
There, but we're also going to push down there.
Zuhören. Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
You stay there, you come across there. Yeah, they're they're patrol craft. Or no, I just don't have I don't have enough rubber to even produce, okay, I need even more tungsten. I can get more tungsten. I don't have enough rubber to produce more aircraft, is my problem here. So I'm now down 15 on rubber, which is hurting my truck production right now because I have sort of prioritized air production to a degree, but it's just, you know, got a lot of factories there. You know, 20 factories and fighters trying to control my skies. So, yeah. Yes, and we have a bunch. We don't have enough. Okay, well, so this is a bit aggravating here, constantly having to micromanage. These are in the Saarland, Hessen, get you up to the top. Some of these are partisan attacks, some of these are bombing attacks. So, what do I do, Arno? Do I have all my factories get bombed and not repaired and make more synthetics? Or do I fix my factories and then try to get more synthetics? Because if we had been a lot lower, so yeah, it's. I wish I had more of everything. Okay, 17. What the hell? Is Rommel adding more divisions to this attack? No.
Bereit.
I only want.
Bereit.
I'm only scheduling 2 divisions to attack there because I want to get this done now, not in a month from now. Well, it's going to take a long time to build them, Arno. And I built a bunch. This is sort of the problem with Germany, is they don't have enough rubber.
Ihre Befehle. Ausrücken. Angetreten.
support that, maybe.
Ihre Befehle. Bereit.
So, that.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle. Bereit.
Variant, you attack into there, you support those guys, and you guys attack into the forest there, pinning them down. Okay, we've officially got all these units here pocketed. It's official, they're in a pocket.
Zuhören. Bereit. Befehle. Zuhören.
Yeah, we just got Odessa, great.
Ihre Befehle.
Let's go that way. Okay, it's these four bottom divisions.
Zuhören. Bereit.
That way.
Ihre Befehle. Bereit.
Okay, well, we've taken Riga. Good.
Achtung.
They're sort of trying to break my hold on the area here. Okay, well, one division come along here. The other two we're gonna send. I know there's three there, but I'm gonna push hard on that. Stay right where you are, but support the attack. Okay.
Achtung. Befehle. Achtung. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Angetreten. Bereit. Bereit.
Well, we want to get Breslatov so we can get the rail hub here, so that's going to be important. I know we can sort of bypass it here to a degree, I guess.
Zuhören.
Cool.
Ausrücken. Bereit.
Into this.
Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle.
Well, those guys coming up that way.
Angetreten.
A nice big juicy pocket there. And another one here. Good.
All right.
Germany entry into the Baltic state, we shall liberate lands of Bolshevik. Lands of Bolshevik rule. Lands from Bolshevik rule, I would say, but okay. Oh, we don't want to have that problem. And again, we've got 2 divisions.
Ihre Befehle? Achtung!
Push out from Odessa. Oh, see now you let them open that pocket.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Close it. That's a no-no. It's always a no-no.
Befehle?
That means no, don't do it.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Achtung! Ausrücken! Befehle!
Well, we're having good progress down here in the south, I would say. We're having great progress, I would say, up in the north. And in Army Group Center, not the... well, nice pocket down here. There's still... But Army Group Center moving towards Moscow. Not so great progress. We still have yet to get... I don't think we're going to save Iraq, but that really isn't the mission. The mission is to
Achtung!
unsuck you because you're going to try to stick it into the dam.
Bereit?
These are the 2 divisions that are supposed to be invading. Maybe we can execute this now. Well, to find out if that's successful, you're going to have to come back next time. Thank you all for watching. I want to thank everyone over on Patreon who's supporting me, but I just really ask everyone else if you can just hit that like button. Really do appreciate it. Also, post a comment below. That really helps feed the algorithm here. I know you probably get tired of hearing everyone say this, but a call to action really does help, so thank you so much. Don't worry, guys. We're going to continue this. Just want to cut these into episodes here. No.
Ihre Befehle?
I don't know why these guys are walking forward. Let's get them on the system.
Bereit! Achtung!
And yes, I should be playing better than I am. I'm just sort of not playing it the best here.
Ihre Befehle? Ausrücken! Ausrücken!
Noble Metal Training. Hello. Trying to figure out how to pronounce French names. They sound cool, but Je Venderas Focu, something like that. They were actually quite historically worried about a naval invasion into, at the time, Vichy France, and so they sent up some Free French forces and a bunch of English forces, British forces, I should say, to occupy Vichy France, but control of Syria. So we're trying to land a division here get Beirut as a port, and then punch more divisions in, come down and take Cairo, maybe help here, but we'll see about that. We're trying. Welcome everyone, this is Gamer1745 and we are playing Hearts of Iron 4's World Ablaze mod, which is a significant change from just standard Hoi 4. I played it before a long time ago, but this is the first time playing through with all the updates and with railroads and all that stuff. So we are trying our landing here in Syria to see if we can get across the water. We have no airborne forces. So we have to do this with naval forces. Focus there too long when we should be looking at pushing in other places. Okay, we reestablish this pocket here. This juicy pocket here. Okay. Well, the attack. Oh, you were supposed to support the attack. Oh, God. Well. Forces we can pocket and destroy, the better off we're going to be. Just go. This attack didn't work. Let's try it again. Bring you around that way. You up that way. Oh no, we need to kill this pocket first. You support the attack. Actually, join the attack, just support it. What?
Ausrücken!
No. No. Stop. 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 Fucking stop. I'm getting,
Zeigt es ihnen!
sick of this crap.
Zeigt es ihnen! Greift weiter an!
No, no. Ah,
Ihre Befehle!
I am so sick of this crap and this.
Ausrücken!
No, 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 no. Wish they just give me proper counters and I could work well with this stuff. Hey, Harry. We're invading the Soviet Union, and oh, we got a bridgehead. Okay.
Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Delete all orders because I don't trust them to do anything useful. Okay. These guys. Well, these guys re-sign back up. No, not with Guderian. With Rommel. Okay, you all come to here. Get on board your ships. Get on board your ships. You come to here.
Bereit! Bereit zum Ausrücken!
You guys all come. No, no. Put the port. Put the port. Well, they'll go that way. We have some juicy pockets that we are trying to clean up as we attempt to push into the Soviet Union.
Bereit zum Ausrücken! Angetreten! Ausrücken! Bereit! Ihre Befehle! Zuhören! Ausrücken! Bereit! Bereit! Ausrücken!
Well, this pocket is opening up nicely, but I'm a little worried that it's getting too big, but let's keep being bold.
Bereit! Zuhören!
Bulgaria is actually up here helping me. That's nice of them. Well, you know, let's change the vector of your attack. We'll send you to support things in that direction. Hello, call me Loeb. Yeah, I'm just used to the traditional style of counters, and this isn't them, and so at times they don't click well, or select well, and I get upset with that. I prefer micromanagement over the AI, but for two reasons. One, my experience with the AI and them not following basic directions that I tell them, but also I just like the idea of micromanaging the forces. Pause.
Los, los, los!
We don't go backwards, they go forwards. Okay, now you guys come up to here. You guys attack there. You support that attack. Now, let's see, we can improve our condors, but let's look back at our production or our technical developments. That's a bit too... Forties are nice. Well, not quite yet for the Tiger. You just wait a little bit longer and we'll get it a lot sooner. Well, I went for the artillery, sorry. The 170mm artillery. Well, I don't... Well, we could do another research slot. That's always nice. Okay, they're reacting to this attack here, but fortunately we can get into Beirut with a fairly large force. Fairly quickly here, hopefully. Keep pushing on the other fronts. Okay, well, we've got that pocket. Looks like the Romanians and whatnot are going to be able to get that pocket dealt with. Come up there. Yeah, we've got... Oh, they're coming... Oh, they're retreating. Okay. You come up here. And we've got 7 divisions here, so let's attack there. Create another pocket here. Let's simply push along this front. Fill the gap. Plus some more divisions that have shown up, as in got trained up, so let's send them up to here for now on the rails, get them there quick. And these guys also up here. I want to kill off this pocket and push on up. Yeah, Tiger tanks would be nice. They will be nice once we get them. Okay, let's see if you can jump the river. But we want to try to avoid that swamp. Was there really that much railway through that swamp? I don't know. This seems like a lot.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle? Zuhören.
Thought I said all of you to go here. No one said anything about hanging about in the back. Hello, Stalin. We're trying to defeat you today.
Angetreten.
Look up there, most there's a spoiling attack. Oh good, we did take that one province, but he's falling back now.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
All of you guys,
Befehle?
push into there.
Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Wonder what if the ME2 was ready in early 42 and the guy with the small mustache didn't demand so many things from it. Yeah, he did want it to be a ground attack aircraft. Pause. That was bad. You could be encircled there. Well, this was Arno's idea of doing, blame Arno for either the success or the failure. He wanted to do it all at once, including the North Africa as well as the invasion of the Soviet Union. So late June, I invaded the Soviet Union, which is way too late. So we'll see how this goes. May not go well. We may get encircled Stalin. Okay, well, the 262. Let me Google something here, because I don't remember all the details. I know I talk a lot. Get the names right. Here we go. Let's see. We could, why not the Heinkel HE 280? I had to look up the number. First flight in September 1940. Produced between 1940 and 1943. Numbers built 9. I knew it was really small. I didn't know it was just that number without looking this up. Let's see, at sea level, it was at 750 kilometers an hour, I'm trying to give it in European, or 467 miles per hour. That's at sea level maximum speed. So Germany was producing I'll just quickly go over this. They were producing this fighter. This is a drawing of it. In this time period. Unlike a lot of mods and everything, or Hoi 4, they one of maybe I'm thinking more of the Hoi 3 mod Black Ice, but they want to like, oh hey, if you have Willie Messerschmitt in it, it's a boost to jet development. No, it's Heinkel. Heinkel is the one who sees Hans Olin's jet engine and starts dumping money and resources into it and sets up a test stuff well before the war. So Germany did have a functional jet fighter. We can see here the various versions of it made. Now, I'm not saying in September 1940 they would have been ready to, throw this into mass production. I'm not even saying that they would have been ready to throw it in mass production in 1941, but 42, sure. I would say 42 for sure, that they could have had this in production. And if you started then, you would have been able to have better steel for the jet engines. Hey, Suitor, I'm doing well. So, the big problem with the German jet engines is not that they weren't done to good build quality. They just melted too fast. They didn't have enough metals that can stand the heat. And I'm not a metallurgist, nor am I a biologist, if you get that reference. But I do know what a woman is, and can define it. So I don't know whether it's just a not having the technology to heat treat the steel that you build in the engines to be able to stand the heat, or if they just didn't have enough availability to something like tungsten to make a steel in itself is a I always blank on words for some reason. I don't know why. An alloy, because it's an alloy of iron and carbon, but you can easily throw in other metals to make it be able to stand the heat better. So I don't know whether it was a technical issue or a supply issue, but to the best of my knowledge, the various jet engines, and they do go through different, and they talk about some of the UMO engines here, or whatever, do go through different variations and get better. And again, I am not an expert on them, but they were rather efficient and worked rather well. Because that was re-engine, I guess early on they were with BMW jet engines here. Good to hear, Suitor. So yeah, they could have had jet fighters earlier. And they were good and efficient. I'm not an aircraft expert, but I do believe this is faster than a lot of the fighters at the time. So it would have been effective. They just didn't go with it at the time. And part of it was, because I remember years, I was back in like high school, way back, reading Albert Speer's Inside the Third Reich, and he was shown, along with some other Nazi dignitaries, in 1939. Now, this is when he's still just Reich Architect, okay? Reich Architect. And it was just at the start, obviously 39 is the start, or a little before the start of the war, he was shown a jet engine in operation, just the engine, not an aircraft. And, just in a test area, and they fired it up, and was mounted down on just this kind of thing. But it was decided at that time to not put too much effort into it because the war was going to be so short and we needed just more of the regular fighters. So there was a decision made, not just it was a decision that this war is going to be short enough. We have good enough fighters as it is. The 109 and the 190 coming in 1939, and they had looked at the Czech, I forget the model, the Czech fighter that was in prototype stage that they get intact, and they test it versus the then 109 at the time, and it was found to be not enough better. So it's better than the 109, not enough better to produce the Czech fighter as well as the 109, because they knew they weren't going to change all of the German production just to match whatever the I forget the Czech model of fighter that they built. But it was considered better than the 109, but not enough better to have, two fighters at the same time, and they were both N-line engines. One of the main reasons they did go with the Focke-Wulf 190 is because it was a rotary type engine with and it's a different production method than an inline engine. So since it had a different engine, and they were already producing and had technology to produce the rotary type engines that you see used in the Ju-52 transports, those type of stuff. So just to make use of two production engine lines, and it was sort of thought of as a backup fighter. So they did end up having two main lines of fighters eventually, but so they sort of kind of know that they got really good fighters, but they had yet to come up against Spitfires, so they don't really know. And obviously, if you look at the various models, I'll go back to the game here. Yeah, you'll come here. This. I like the way this mod handles it, in the it has various historical increments of at least significant ones of the historical fighters instead of just pure. This is not taking advantage of some of the elements of Hoi 4 and to add more engine power or whatever. But and so if we're talking in 39, what were they comparing the Czech fighters against? Were they D1s, the versions of the Emil, the E? I don't know. And they get better / more specialized, like higher altitude or whatever, as time goes on. So it's comparing what version of the 109 to what Spitfire, or I forget the Czech. It's Avro. No, I don't know. I forget the Czech manufacturer company. But so they figure they've got enough of these and just produce a bunch more of them. They're going to win this relatively short war. We don't need to push more investment into the jet engine. Now they continue to, and it's as much, I believe, Heinkel, just sort of believing in the technology, continues to push somewhat, but not a big effort into jet engines as they're going into this war. And it was going to be for the quote-unquote next war that they would see about getting them actual into production. And so it was just still sort of tinkering around, testing them with them. Hello. Can you play Romania as World of Blaze, please? Hello, Sean. Mama. Probably not. I don't know if I just don't know when I'm going to have the time to get to it, because I don't know that probably my next playthrough won't be World of Blaze. Probably. I'll keep it in mind, but I don't know if I do want to play other nations than Germany, but we will see. Just I don't know if Romania is going to be that popular, but I'll keep it in mind. So back to jets. So it's a decision that they make to not pursue jet fighters. Now, had they pursued jet fighters, I think they have we landed our ships yet? Yes, good. I don't know that it would have changed the outcome of the war. I don't know. Maybe if they, because jet fighters aren't going to help you the night fighter issue, you know, the night bombers really that much. I know you do have some jets with airborne radar. The Germans make them, but I don't know that they're flying at night. The problem with flying at night is the jets are flying so fast that by the time they get close enough to see their target, identify the target well enough and fire, they're probably going to be running into the target. So they're probably night really is a night fighter. Now I think the few 262s that I've seen with the Knickerbein or whatever the radar antenna stuck on them, I bet you they're mostly just test models. Now they could be useful in foul weather as to find the enemy bomber formation and get sort of kind of close to it, to be a bit of a help and get set up on it. But I don't know, because it's not like modern day. If you don't have a radar guided missile and you're looking for bomber formations, I don't know how much it's going to help. Probably more than I think, but I don't know. So you can still do the night bombing of Germany. Day bombing of Germany, I don't know. I'm sure it helped shorten the war, the day bombing of Germany. Sure it helped. But I do believe Germany would have been defeated without it. Now, Britain comes up with, I think it's, the Meteor fighters, and they get them operational during World War II, but they don't let them leave Britain. Because they're afraid to have them fall into the hands of the Germans, and that the Germans would find out too much information, either just about the British fighters or about or get some technical development that they could use on their own fighters. But just either finding out the weaknesses or strength. They do use their fighters a bit to go after the Arado and other Arado jet bombers. I think they also use them to go after V1 missiles incoming, to shoot those down. So they use them in combat. Now the American jets, I don't think will ever leave America. I don't think they ever get deployed, but they're developing them. And had it been necessary, they could have got those and deployed. But sorry for what's coming. Okay. Now the question is, I have a question for you. What nation had the first operational jet fighter in World War II? Let's see if anybody here in chat can answer that correctly. Okay, well, we're going to see about breaking out here against these forces. Okay. Let's attack with a couple of Italian divisions. These German divisions. So, first operational jet fighter. Not in large numbers, but just first something that would be a jet fighter and that was operational in World War II. Anybody have any clue? Okay, Sutra's at least been bold enough to make a good guess. The German ones? No. That is not it. Um, oh, not even listed here on the list of jet fighters that I can see for World War II. Oh, the Caproni N1, um, which flew in August 1940. I do believe I'm just quickly scanning here the other dates because September is later. Yep, the Caproni, which is Italy. The Caproni Compagni N1, the first, they only built 2 of them. They built them before, or just about before, Italy enters the war. And they're big, they're heavy, and they're slow. For you Europeans, they're moving at 375 kilometers an hour. If you're an American, in freedom units, that's 233 miles an hour. So they're very big and they're very slow. They're I don't right off the hand know what the fastest propeller planes, but they're not really going faster than propeller planes. But they are a jet engine design. And they're a rather weird jet engine design in that unlike the Germans or who have the like the jet engines out on the wing, the jet engine is in the hull, but it's behind the pilots, and so they have an intakes for the jet engines up in the front of the nose of the aircraft that then goes around the fuselage, where you have two like a pilot and navigator or whatever there, and then back into the engine behind it. So it's a big fighter that doesn't really work out so well. Hello, King RBX, how you doing? So yeah, they've had they were the first ones to get jet fighters into production. Well, not in production, but into prototype stage in World War II. Most people don't think of them as doing that. Hello, Kevin Doyle. Good to have you here, my friend. Did they put any weapons on? I'm not sure if they did. Let me just see. Do they list an armament on it? They only built 2 of them. No, it doesn't specifically say here. I mean, it would be a simple matter to just stick them in the wings, put some sort of machine gun. But the Italian machine guns normally only just have 30 rounds. Oh no, yeah, 20 rounds in the box magazine. So, no, I'm joking. Well, I mean, they do that too, but they do something else for the. Yeah, I don't know if they ever got guns on it. There's actually a surviving one in the Italian Air Force Museum I see here. So yeah, it's a prototype aircraft, and it's their only ones that they only did 2 of them during the war. But they got them up first. Yeah, interesting facts of World War II. It's more trivia than anything else, but yeah, okay. We keep saying attack there, but I mean attack there. And I do really like what ifs of World War II. I just don't know if it changes the outcome really at all.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Meaning who wins the war.
Angetreten. Achtung. Achtung. Bereit.
Oh, Arno, we have a bot over on Twitch.
Angetreten.
You might want to squish it.
Bereit zum Ausrücken. Angetreten. Ausrücken.
We got another mini pocket here. Yeah, die bot, die. Very good.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Thought I said to attack.
Achtung. Bereit. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Okay, well. There. Bring that attack. These guys have...
Ausrücken. Achtung.
Oh, amazing. Red Digger? I guess that's how you say it. Hello from Sigourney Magras. If that's a place, I'm sorry, I don't know. Do not know where that is. Well, I am waiting to play. I have not been following what they've been doing, but waiting for to hear that the Black Ice team has updated Black Ice to the latest version dealing with railroads and whatnot. So before I try it, and then once they do, I plan on trying it very much. So yeah, it's on the to-do list for sure. Okay, more divisions are shore.
Achtung.
Let's send these Italians attacking here, mostly just to try to pin them in place.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
And again, attack across the bridge.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
You guys can come north up to there, I think. No, I should have just sent you straight there, but... Oh, well. How are we doing with our various pushings deep? Probably too deep. Okay, you come this way. We have the infantry division holding there just to make sure we don't get cut off too badly. Alright, well you attack there with you attacking there as well. Take at least the port. I know I just said to attack here, but go again.
Ausrücken. Bereit.
The attack there is a spoiling attack. Well,
Zuhören.
there was once a company called Avalon Hill.
Ihre Befehle.
It made a game called The Rise and Fall of the Third Reich. And I played that when I was younger. Played the hell out of it. And they even eventually, one day, they did make a computerized version of the game, but it sucked pretty badly, actually. But I've always wanted sort of that experience
Befehle.
and better
Zuhören.
playing a proper grand strategy type war game of World War II. So I like the idea of this. I should play even slower than I am playing.
Angetreten.
And play it very carefully. That would be the best. Sort of hoping that they would, let's shift forces out and I can push out from there effectively.
Abstand halten.
Okay, you're not going to continue that. You're going to come back down this way.
Angetreten.
You're going to support that attack.
Bereit. Ausrücken.
You guys are going to attack into there. You're going to come to here.
Zuhören. Ausrücken. Bereit.
It's said to attack here. I don't life me know why these divisions can't just take this one division down and end it. Okay, well they're attacking from the south, so we're going to push up against them to be a bit of a spoiling attack. You can push into there. Oh, you're not going to get into this pocket. Look at myself, got some in the office though. Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's... Yeah, it was at least the 80s I go back and playing that stuff.
Angetreten.
So yeah. That is my background in these games and why I love them. And I do.
Zuhören. Befehle. 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 Angetreten. Bereit. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
A little before your time. Yeah, I'm old. I know it. Sometimes I feel it, sometimes I don't. Being old, that is.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Well, this isn't helping my pocket any that you retreated out of there. Yeah, now I remember the 1970s, but I don't think I was playing Avalon Hill games back then. Now that we have all of these, you guys, and you, and guys, support that. You support that attack. You push out here like I know I just said for you to do before you joined that attack. Okay, well they pushed back up to there now. You push into there. Support the attack like that. You can push up just generally to make a nuisance of yourself, and you can support that. Well, I think this episode, don't worry, the live stream will keep going, but I think that'll be enough for this episode. I want to thank you all for hanging out with me. I really do appreciate it. And we'll be continuing more, yes, more Hearts of Iron next time. Yeah, guys, don't worry. We're going to keep playing here. I'm just chopping these up into smaller bits for people to watch later. Still got plenty of gray hair already. Well, yeah, well, that gray hair can come from multiple reasons and not just because of age. It can come from playing Hearts of Iron. This sort of looking here. That's. Come on, Rommel, get more good divisions into that battle. The enemy has air superiority. Should that be allowed to stand? Okay, well, let's do this. You, once you get down here, come fly over there and go after flying thingies. You once you get down there and deploy, you come over there and go after ground target so that we have some air operations. Let's, yeah, we're going to shift you to here. Put you that, hopefully once you get there. Good chuck comes from working on some of these titles more than playing them. Never worked on Hoy, though. Did more wargamey things when I worked for Slytherin. Ah, okay. Don't know which ones you worked on in Slytherin, but yeah. I like a lot of Slytherin's games. I really do. We have pushed to here. You push across there. You come across the river. You come up to, you attack along there. Please attack across the. Move it back into there.
Ihre Befehle?
Okay, let's take a look at air zones here. Well, we're not really winning the battles over there. We're pushing out here, so we're going to see about switching their air zone to there and their air zone to there. I think we want to try to dominate the sky. I was producer on games like Warplan and Strategic Command, as well as Command Model Operator. Oh, good. Well, I love those games. Love those games, Suter. Yeah. I just don't know if, because I have a game in my head that I've had it since the 90s that would be a great strategy game. It would take things. It would be. It's not Hearts of Iron by any means, but it's much better than Warplane or Strategic Command. But I'm just not a programmer to be able to program the stuff. I think what Alvaro has done and Herbert has done with Strategic Command and Alvaro with Warplane, programming all that stuff, that's just beyond my skill. It's one thing to design a game, it's another thing to be able to program it and get it to work, and I'm just nowhere near that kind of skill level. Just not. You know, the mods that I make for Hoi 4, Hoi 3 are about as far as I've been able to really get. And that's working with a base game that's already there. I don't know if you've seen my playthroughs of Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice with Third Reich events. Well, I'm the developer of Third Reich events, or the main programmer. No, the only programmer, but I take submissions of stuff for that. And that's about as far as I can get on it, and it's just very basic. Oh, you have? Okay, good. So yeah, that's about as far as I can go with this stuff. But yeah, I don't know if it's programming the AI. Yeah, lots of historical stuff, and and I got in. I recently been playing with the EULA codes, but it's only monkey see, monkey do, because the programming there for the EULA for Hoi 3 that we have access to, basically DSafe is giving me examples of what I need to do. And I know how to look at his examples and modify it, but that's far from coming up with the original code and figuring it out. So yeah, I'm nowhere near able to program anything. To like take a game and build it from scratch. It's one thing to come in and look to see how this was done, how to program the AI to the big thing I was doing was telling the AI to build what type of divisions, how many brigades, what type of brigades for that, within what years and whatnot for certain nations. So once I had an example of what it should look like, then I could go in and adjust the dates, adjust what brigades, and adjust the percentages of infantry, like for Britain, infantry divisions versus motorized infantry divisions versus armored divisions, and all that kind of stuff. What the ratio should be for so I can get in and do that once I see and have that explained to me. But where DSafe is really good at programming, and what he has done, I mean, give praise where praise is due. DSafe has taken Hearts of Iron 3 Black Ice and go, oh, well, the interface doesn't have the ability to do some of the stuff I want to. Oh, well, let me just pull up, and I know they wouldn't ever do this in a real game, just because it would be too hard. Let me just create a whole new window. And that's what he's done. He's created it's all part of the game. It's a whole new window, and you have to sort of alt tab over to it. Or if you have it on a second screen, it can be moved to a second screen, and it's a whole new window to tell sort of EULAs to do different things, and what he's gone in and completely reworked and made that game do that the developers never did. And, the developers, would obviously just make, some other button here that would pop up another dialog box within the game. He just doesn't have that access. So that's, what he does. And he's been very helpful with me in my efforts. But, I just... creating the AI and creating something like that to work from scratch would be an expensive thing. And I just don't know that somebody like Slytherin could afford it. And unfortunately, Paradox's marketplace, once not so much World Ablaze, but once EU 20th Century, not a historically plausible World War II game, it seems like. Clausewitz engine, yes. UI can be a bit of a pain. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so he's done a lot of really good stuff with that. Okay, let's start another episode here. Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here, and we're trying to do it all, everything, conquer the world all at once, just sort of like the Nazis did. That's why they lost, amongst other reasons, but a big one. So we are pushing the Soviet Union. We've done remarkably well here. We're doing, we've pushed up here. We're doing okay. We got some panzer divisions running around. I don't think they're in any danger yet, but we're trying to bring up some forces to help with that, which we will bring up these occupation, or forces that we have been using as occupation. I have resistance map. I have disagreements with some of the developers here. This here really okay, well, I've read the book Hitler's Empire. It is a fascinating book, and it looks at how the Germans, people understand when you put, and I often use Hitler's face on the thumbnails of these videos and whatnot. You can make them, but that's no endorsement or liking of Nazis, because you can have a book, How I Defeated Hitler, and put Hitler's face on it. It just sells the book. So that's why you have it there. But it deals with Germans dealing with occupation, and they go into Germany's occupation of Poland in Hitler's Empire, and they start with Germany's occupation of Poland in World War I, which, although Germany was looking to expand to the east in what is at least today's Poland and not give up the German Empire, they did set up this is World War I Germany, a sort of Polish self-governing area, shall we say, for a while to get support of the Poles. So they do have a bit of a history of that, but there was virtually no resistance to German occupation, either in the re-annexed, or whatever you want to call it, territories, meaning territories that were formerly part of the German Empire, as well as the general government. There were virtually no resistance early on. Now, of course, you had, and there was also a lot of cooperation. It is believed, because the one nation that Germany does not have any auxiliary troops is Poland. That's the one nation. Now, I'm sure a lot of Polish nationalists today will, none of us would cooperate with them. I don't believe that's the case. It's the case that now there were police elements. You can see like dealing with the Warsaw Ghetto and whatnot, but I really believe it's the Germans' insistence on erasing Poland. They don't even, when the general government, just a general government, not like of Poland, and it's this part, and then expands a bit more into the east as the German Empire, the Nazis' empire expands territorial control, and where they do Reich commissariats of some of the areas that and use the title. Now, like when the mentioning, because Ukraine is in the news today, when the SS recruit some Ukrainian units, they don't even call them Ukrainian, they call them Galatian units, so they don't even want the term Ukraine really to be used much as a peoples. So, and then obviously there's the later big Warsaw uprising as the Soviets are approaching. But early on, there is virtually no resistance. So the idea of resistance here is wrong, and especially in the former German territories, there's a lot of compliance, immediate compliance. And to a point, it's a mix of reasons. There's still a lot of, not a majority, because a lot of them have left, but there's still a lot of German speakers, people that then, once Germany takes over, claim to be German. So there's a lot of them. A lot of the Germans come back to their lost territories. And for a lot of the farmers, a lot of the people, it's just the old bosses are back, at least at first. They take it as the old bosses are back from, the last few hundred years, because a lot of them, it's been about 20 years. So if you're 40 years old, now that's maybe getting a bit old for, a lot of peasant farmers, but you remember being an adult and having the German overlordship in the past. So it's just they're back. And so I completely disagree with that I've got resistance here, and I even disagree down in the general government. We see a lot more resistance, but even here I think it's overdone because of Vichy France. You can find photos of, like one of them is like a jockey for a horse race going like in Paris or something like that. I don't know where, but he's wearing the Cross of Lorraine on his back. This is so early that the Germans have yet to cue in that the Cross of Lorraine is somehow a resistance symbol. So it was worn openly, like on something that, on the big symbol on the back of a horse jockey, and even most Frenchmen wouldn't have known about it, but that it was that yet. But there was organizing, but there really wasn't active resistance because of Vichy France. And realize a couple of things with Vichy France. Vichy France isn't just this territory and whatever, other colonial possessions. It's all of France. Okay, it's just Petain's government. Petain's government, forms out here in Bordeaux and is fighting the Germans. It's Pétain is premier and Laval is vice premier or whatever it would be, and they sign a ceasefire agreement with Germany and then move the capital to Vichy. This is just unoccupied France, where this is occupied France. But Vichy, the government at Vichy is managing all of it, okay, in a way. Now, and I say in a way because, sure, there's this is German occupation zone, so Germany is making a lot of demands and getting a lot of stuff. They're also making demands down here, but not occupying. And I say making demands. Things like, oh, give us your oil, because there's a huge strategic oil reserve, and they don't care whether that part of that reserve is in Vichy territory or in Free French or in occupied territory. This is just your unoccupied. This is where the French army still gets to exist of about 100,000 men or whatever it was. It gets to exist down here, but there's still a lot of administrative elements. You know, the postal system, the civil governments of all the cities. Now, of course, there's the German occupation officer coming in and with whatever troops, and it is sort of overseeing the stuff. But these people, the police, the whatever, are still sort of looking to Vichy as, I'm just using Vichy as, the capital and Petain's government, as sort of the functioning government of France. And they and everybody else does not want to have partisan activities, because that could then get the rest of France occupied. This is sort of like being held hostage. One, they're holding up here hostage so that these guys don't, and other places don't go join the fight against them. One, and then two, these guys don't cause trouble here because we'll take it all if you do it. It's only after, and I'm sure you could prove me wrong with this resistant act or that resistance act, that somebody was shot. Yeah, there was sporadic little bits, but nothing like all of this going on, needing to have such heavy levels of uprising here, in my opinion. This really only happens once. Not America entering the war, that's part of it, yes, but it's because then it really shows, well, hey, because this is after the Soviets are already in it, it's, well, hey, we can maybe free ourselves. But it's also, in essence, it is Germany's occupation of the rest of Vichy. There's no longer an unoccupied zone. Now, the Vichy government continues, but basically Pétain is I think basically under house arrest. I don't remember all this. Please, everyone, I label this stuff as historical commentary, because if you want a detailed documentary, there are good ones out there, sometimes hard to find, but you can look into some of the stuff that'll give proper dates and whatnot. But because Laval has, at least for a while, had been dismissed from Petain's government for too much collaboration. But Laval is put back in charge. And Pétain, I don't know if he's officially removed, don't remember, as head of the government, but he's basically under house arrest. And it's Laval is running the collaborationist government that then is fully occupied France. It's still the Vichy government is still functioning, but it's no longer having the distinction between occupied and unoccupied France. That is when resistance actions really start to take place. Sabotage of any significant amount starts to take place. It's only then that it does start to take place in France on any scale that would be noted in this. So I disagree with what is happening here. I think it's a bit much. That's how I'm interpreting all of this. So yeah, and reason what sort of brought me up is because I'm moving some of these units that had been there helping reduce occupational problems, coming out to the front line. Okay, we're pushing back into here, and you're going to join because you're going to be right there. Taking that division. You can move north into there because that might become a weakness. No, you're supposed to go there. Thought I clicked you here. Hey IKB, it's been a while. Good to have you here. How is life treating you? You still have a... I know you were worried about situations with how the railways were being managed and jobs and such. I hope that's going well for you.
Ausrücken! Zuhören!
Be able to break out here at all. Come on, Rom, we'll put some other units into the front. Breakout needs to happen. Well, what the- oh, okay, just hope the flatmate is a good thing. Wow, they did not break out. I'm a bit worried about having too many divisions here.
Zuhören! Angetreten! Bereit! Bereit!
Wow, these couple of divisions here, I don't know why. We should be getting enough supplies for these.
Befehle!
Versus all pushing there. Okay, you guys continue to push there. You support that attack. Okay, well, fall back to here.
Zuhören!
You guys make the jump up to there.
Bereit! Befehle! Befehle! Angetreten!
Here.
Achtung! Angetreten! Bereit zum Ausrücken! Zuhören!
Okay, we're finally across that river. Great. You punch north. There, support the bridgehead.
Ihre Befehle? Bereit? Bereit zum Ausrücken.
Uh-oh, we had our army commander wounded. Not the outcome we want. Those things did happen in World War II. Though Army Commander is a bit high level for that to be happening, but still, they did happen. Now it looks like this province is left open, so we're rushing into it. You strike, because it looks like they're trying to break out. You join that attack. Well, the supply is doing fairly well. We haven't really moved that far east. I have been keeping it in mind to a lot of my movements, not every last one of them. I really hope when Black Ice gets rid of a lot of its stupid modifiers and relies more on this, because, you know, the Germans did not have, I mean, I'm not saying there wasn't difficulties, because there's always difficulties in war, but Germany was not having supply problems, you know, along this sort of line into the Ukraine. It's once they're pushing deep into Stalingrad, once they're pushing deep into Moscow, yeah, and the first push to Moscow, obviously they had very limited rail access, because it was still the Russian railway system that they, I don't know, is there a good book, IKB, on, you could recommend it, because you'd be the one to recommend it, on like how the Germans were using and when the rail system, because, you know, obviously, you know, the first few months of taking over the rail lines, it's still on the Russian gauge. There's whether the Germans blew the bridges or the bombed the bridges, or whether the Soviets did that on the retreat. And I'm sure, but I'm still sure that some of them were intact. I'm sure that some of the rolling stock, because I'm sure that some, now I don't know whether it's a minor fraction or the majority of it, but I'm sure they've captured enough in working order to get some trains running immediately in some areas. And so obviously you're going to have the interface between, you know, the German rail system coming up, unloading the rail cars, loading them onto whatever trains and rail cars that are available on the, you know, the Russian system, and using that. Is there anything on that? Do you have a recommendation? There are decisions, yes. So, I don't know if there's a good book that would cover that, because that would interest me. Thank you, Arna. Enough or something, I don't. This is a big hassle. Yeah. How many lines of all this stuff? I don't know. Let's see, currently civil, oh no, currently civil factories. Okay, well, we've got 70. That's actually fairly good, a little bit more than I thought we were going to have. But let's pop up a few more of these to the top, especially ones that Don't need the bunkers. Those. Oh, the battery is harmed. Okay, well, let's move that to the top.
Befehle! Bereit zum Ausrücken. Ihre Befehle. Bereit zum Ausrücken. Bereit zum Ausrücken.
You push that way.
Bereit zum Ausrücken.
We're going to take these two divisions and push on there. With them supporting. Try to push them or loop them around that way a bit.
Bereit.
But Engines of War by Christian Volmar is a good overview of the use of railways in war. Now I have the rent money coming in from my flatmate. I might go book shopping again. Yeah, I always love more books too. I just
Bereit.
sort of, you know, looking for a recommendation.
Ausrücken.
You stop there, but you can push into there with
Befehle.
these guys help. These guys are going to cross the river.
Zuhören.
Move these guys to there.
Befehle.
Push there.
Zuhören.
These guys supporting.
Zuhören. Ausrücken. Bereit.
We've been rather successful in using armor unit as
Bereit zum
somewhat stationary elements, but let's see if we can get them mobile again. Ah, we have more engines of war. I will keep that in mind. Okay, we need more steel. Why do we need more steel? Steel factories have probably been damaged, is why we need more steel. Western Mainland. Barland. Okay, you can send equipment. You can send equipment, fine. I'm happy with that. Now, steel we should be able to get from Sweden or Italy. We'll go with Sweden. That should do it basically. Hospitals. Still, well, let's. Yeah, give us all 10 of your rubber. Did add more. We just don't have the rubber to do more aircraft. Well, what do we need? Rocks and support equipment. Now we can maybe get more aluminum from. Okay, French. Aluminium, as the English say. And just, I know there's some English people here, of course, IKB being one of them, but please do understand, there are two different words. It's not who's saying it correctly, there are two different words. There's aluminum, that the Americans use, and there's aluminium, that the British use. Those are two different words meaning the same thing. So it's not a correct and incorrect pronunciation. It is two different words, aluminum and aluminium. They just have the same meaning. Now that we're better organized, let's see if we can win the battle. Come on, Rommel, put more divisions into the front line. I was leaving you some reserves. Okay, well, we're up here now. Push into this. You support the attack. Bypass, subjugate Iraq because I think Iraq disappeared. Yes. Well, our push around their rear has not been going so well. That just isn't going so well. Okay, they're pushing on us here. We're falling back to there for some reason. I'm not quite sure why. Lots of divisions there, which is good, but you guys push that way, and we push that way. Or when Rommel has been wounded for 90 days. Wow.
Befehle!
I think it was Cruel. Cruel? Not quite sure how you pronounce his name. He has a little umlaut over it, I think. He takes over for a while on one of Rommel's sick leaves. And I forget whether it was an airstrike or an artillery strike. He was riding around in a Kuba wagon, you know, on the back of it. I think it was a Kuba wagon, but it was an open top, light skin vehicle. And he falls out of it and dies. They're not really sure exactly how he died. You know, they recovered the body and all very quickly, but he just like falls out of the vehicle and dies. And so probably a broken neck or something, but I don't know if that was obvious to them. But so yeah, you know, so the guy taking over for Rommel dies. So yeah, people of that kind of rank in combat can and did die. Okay, you guys all attack into there. You guys attack into there. So these guys are coming to reinforce. No, no, no. You go there to stop the reinforcements from showing up. Yes, I see you pushing into there, but I don't really care at the moment. You push up to... No, 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 no. You push up to there, not you guys. Let's send you to there, supported by these guys. Pilot promoted and what? Yeah, we'll take 8 divisions. Okay.
Ihre Befehle? Ihre Befehle?
Yep.
Bereit?
Okay, well, let's put you out this way, I think. And these guys are being cut off.
Angetreten!
That is not the best use of things. Well, this ain't going well. We just lost our 2 armored divisions down here. In this pocket. Remember, everyone remember, this was Arno's plan. This was Arno's plan. He wanted to do it all at once and not just do one thing well. Yes, I'm blaming Arno.
Befehle?
Blaming Field Marshal Arno.
Zuhören!
Yes, nuke them all. Well, we don't have nukes.
Befehle!
This pocket is
Bereit!
just about mostly dead, so
Ausrücken!
no, I want you guys to come over here.
Zuhören!
You guys can attack into there. Along with...
Achtung!
Okay, well, now that we have
Ausrücken!
Come down that way.
Ausrücken! Bereit!
There, because we want to get supply back. Yeah, Arno is just always straight to nuking whatever.
Zuhören!
He doesn't have the idea of, you know, incremental escalation down well at all. We're just holding a pocket there now. That not that it doesn't help here. Oh, we did actually push into there. Good. Well, let's. Our attack here. Everyone stay tuned. I mean, we're playing this out for a bit more for sure, but stay tuned. I have a special episode thing I'm going to make, and maybe if you guys want to hang around and watch, and sort of at the end, if you want to put any input into it, it would be cool. Okay, we're going to attack that way. I'm trying to loop these guys sort of back around this way. No, I'm not doing my best. Oh, these guys are freaking retreating already. Oh my god. Okay, well, my push up into here is somewhat being cancelled, so,
Bereit! Ausrücken!
letting them get this deep into me wasn't my plan, but if I can't freaking close off this gap here.
Ihre Befehle? Befehle? Bereit! Ihre Befehle? Bereit zum Ausrücken!
Pocket. They're even retreating back out. I think they're getting some super bonuses. Was there something I was supposed to hit that was supposed to reduce? You know, no, pause. You have expectations. From reading books, from playing other war games, you have expectation. You have expectations that when you, from multiple fronts, not just doom stack attacking, but when you attack with, say, 9 divisions versus, say, 3 divisions, and it's, you know, less than a month into Barbarossa, where you're expecting the Soviet forces to not be doing well. You expect a certain level of victory. And when you don't get it, am I wrong into being a little upset at that, people? I've just pulled this up to show what my standard infantry division looks like. We've got lots of artillery. You know, this is basically an artillery regiment here with some support regular artillery and support heavy artillery. So we've got a full artillery regiment here. 3 brigades or regiments or whatever of infantry, some anti-tank here, some support anti-tank. So we've got more than, you know, we've got reconnaissance, logistics, field hospital, you know, maintenance, whatever. So we have a, you know, a fair representation of an infantry division. And most of these divisions, at least starting out, were, you know, fully equipped with things, you know, equipment that is. Now, I've not been playing my best because I'm sort of talking and playing and jumping around. So I don't know. You know, I'm not thinking it should be an all-conquering, you know, push to Moscow, but that I'm having such trouble here, where and when I can mass the force just seems to be a bit much. And again, it may be my not knowing this mod super well or something, I don't know. These are the 2 other Bulgarian divisions. Let's move them up here. Eat away up in the north. Von Welch. I don't know. I don't know if I'm just expecting too easy a time at start from Barbarossa. I don't know. Don't know. I really like the way Gary Grigsby's War in the East 2 handles some of the initiative and the effectiveness of divisions early on, and how it sort of changes over time. I don't know. I'm just not terribly pleased by this. And this I will say I didn't have enough panzer divisions. That is very true. There is too much sitting down here. The main reason to send these panzer divisions down here, now I think we have a real supply issue here because we lost Tobruk, is to win here first and then go up to here. But we are, in essence, playing a... yeah, we did invade over here, but too historical of an event that... oops, in 1942 we'll just have an American landing, or sometime sooner, here, and yeah, we'll maybe lose or whatnot. So yeah, this is not good. I don't know. Don't know what to think about this. Well, I think we're going to end this episode here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the video, and if you could, those watching later, post a comment on whether you think I have too high of expectations for the German army to have 4 divisions here and not just get pushed out by whatever it is that's attacking them. You know, right and realize this is Brest-Litovsk. This is right on the border. This isn't, at Minsk or whatever, because you can look at what you can do in Gary Grigsby's. You can get to Minsk in a very short amount of time, and they have a very historical order of battle now. And one of my expectations with this game is that the AI will play a historical, production schedule, a historical order, rough order of battle, not like every single division and every single historical place, but sort of a rough outline of all of that stuff, where it's the player gets to, if they're going to play a country, gets to make other decisions, like, hey, who needs armored divisions for Russia? We need to have a big super navy or something, and make that decision. Otherwise, I want them to follow a historical thing. So thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next time, yes, with even more Hearts of Iron. Okay, everyone on chat, I'm going to switch things up here a bit. Let's see, we're going to do switching games. I'm going to make a special here on World War One. So you might want to hang out for a few moments here. I want to talk about it. It was it's right now about the time that the U.S. enters World War One, and I want to talk about it. So just give me a moment to get prepared. And then after I talk about it, I'll gladly address any questions, comments, that you may have. From what I do, but just... I know I saved it somewhere here, but I got way too many bookmarks. That was new work. No. Sorry for the delay here. I know part of it will be here. Yes. That's part. I know I should have prepared this, but I wasn't. Maybe so prepared this morning. Yes, okay, here we go. That's what I'm looking for. Let me save this here. I think exit the game. Well, I want this up here. And this. And this. All right. Actually, let's move this over to here so I can see the chat still. Okay, let's share my desk here. Hello everyone, this is Gamer1745 here, and I'm making a special episode. If you're new here, you can subscribe to the channel for more historical gaming videos. This is not one of them. This is a talk, not sure how brief it will be, but it is relevant to today. I am making this on April 2nd, and I'll be posting this very soon after it. So and also hope it's earning a like. You hit that like button, and if you've listened to this, I'd love to hear your comments on what I'm going to say. Right, well, let's just read this. April 2nd, 1917, the US President Wilson, who was not a good man, asked a special joint session of Congress to declare war on German Empire, saying that the war would make the world safe for democracy and be a war to end war. 4 days later, Congress obliged. It was only the fourth time it had declared war. World War I. This is from Nicholas Pye, who Reverend Nicholas Pye, who made this tweet. Really don't know him. That isn't the point. And I'm really, this is an important idea here, and I think it's not looked at well enough. We can talk about the horrendous harassment of people with German names after, and it's Wilson, and yes, we will get a little political here, was a Democrat. Yes, he was a big racist. He was a big fan of Birth of a Nation, which was a Ku Klux Klan promoting movie. But he was also a very progressive president. To give a little bit, and I'm not a big expert on the American home front, and I know a lot of you watching this will be surprised that there was no internet back when Wilson did this. So what he had to do, and the government did, is they hired people. They gave them a script, primarily men. I don't know if they hired women, but primarily men, to go on street corners and be basically a town crier, if you will, with messages to people, often ginning up anti-German hate, attacking anyone who was thought to be against the war, ginning up mobs to attack people. They didn't wear brown shirts, but it was a lot of that kind of tactic that Wilson was doing. And this is done exponentially greater than what was done during World War II in America against attacking those who weren't going along with the program. I just sort of want to give that as a backdrop to Wilson and his tactics, and what we see today, right now, as I speak, over what you don't have a Ukrainian flag on your Twitter account or whatever. Don't you stand with Ukraine? It's just this really ginning up of war that we're seeing. And yes, I gotta say it because someone's going to accuse me if I don't. I'm totally against the Russian invasion of Ukraine. I thought something should have been done when Russia went into Crimea. But they didn't do something then. And it's become a problem now. So the two things that really, for America, even with all of the bad, a lot of good sort of comes out of World War I in that it really, and a lot of it doesn't necessarily require America joining the war, but American industrialization is very heavily, and the American farm sector, at least for a while, is very heavily helped by World War I. And it's not very costly for America. But it was these two elements here. It was make the world safe for democracy and war to end war. Now, I know in World War I, and very much in World War II, that praise of democracy has become a very big thing. Well, yeah, I'm going to go there. I hate to tell you, democracy is not a good thing. Democracy is bad. Now, dictatorships can be a lot worse, okay? What I'm talking about is democracy. As Tim Pool likes to put it, democracy is two wolves and a lion not two wolves and a lamb deciding who gets to be eaten for lunch. Where a republic is an armed lamb who can contest the vote. And this is where this selling of democracy and making the world safe for democracy, the idea that democracy, and hi Marcel, Fritz, I see you there, but we're going to continue here. The idea that democracy is a good value in and of itself is not a good thing. Now, democratic representation within a republic is a great thing, okay? See, a republic, as we sort of know it today, I mean, there's all kinds of republics throughout the history of mankind, but a res publica, a republic, not a dictatorship, Fritz, who probably wants one of those, but a republic, like a constitutional federal republic. It is a structured set of government that within it there's democratic representation, there's voting. That is a good thing. What you can have, make the world safe for democracy. Remember, Hitler's elected. Hitler comes to power democratically. Okay? Hitler comes to power democratically. First, the Nazi Party, they don't get a majority vote in Reichstag, but they're the biggest party. There's no majority. They're the biggest party, and they, I forget the exact initials. I think it's the DNP, but doesn't matter. Franz von Pappen's party, which is a smaller right-wing minority party, a classical conservative right wing, would like the Kaiser back and like to, a constitutional monarchy, shall we say, as opposed to a constitutional republic. These guys, the sort of traditionalist Germans, get in the alliance and, get Hitler in there. But then there's later voting going on, and there's irregularity, shall we say. It's not quite what we would see as a free and fair voting, but he is multiple votes that I do believe that the overwhelming voting majority does vote for Hitler. And hello, Lum. So just the idea that you have a democracy that you form a democracy. You can look at whether like forming it in Iraq or trying to form it in Afghanistan. Just because you put a process in place that is a democratic process does not mean you will get good ends. Okay? Good governance is important. Okay, so yeah, if you have a constitutional monarchy, I don't know, like England does today, you can have good governance. I'm not saying everywhere should be a constitutional monarchy or anything like that, but you can have good governance. So the idea that democracy, you want to make the world safe for democracy, and majority tyranny is what often happens. The majority gets into power. We can see this in different areas in the United States, whatever political side you may be on. Sometimes you'll like it, sometimes you won't. They sort of rig the system. The group gets into power. They rig the system so that they stay into power through democratic votes. And you see states not, that stay all Republican, and sure, there's a few Democrats that get elected, but nowhere is there ability to get a majority flipped over for a long, long time. So with democracy, you can have majority tyranny. I am against tyranny from any form of government, whether it's a dictator or a majority. Because a lot of dictators do realize they're playing to the majority of their people. Not always, but a lot of times they're like get on the side of the majority and do it. So the idea of making the world safe for democracy. But okay, let's even take that as a good thing. There wasn't much democracy after World War II. Now, was there? Japan certainly wasn't a democracy. China certainly wasn't a democracy. Those were both sides on the Allies fighting against the Central Powers. Okay, briefly, for about 10 years, there was democracy in Germany. But then that goes away. So it definitely didn't make it safe in there. There really isn't much of a democracy in Austria, in Hungary, in Romania. Not terribly much of a democracy in Poland. Popular dictator there. Now that's a country being squeezed from, multiple sides. There certainly wasn't any democracy in the Bolshevik Soviet Union. So, is Italy a democracy? Well, what was it, 1922? Mussolini does his march on Rome and sort of ends democracy in Italy. So, if the stated goal of America coming into the war in World War I, one of them was to make the world safe for democracy, there certainly wasn't a lot of democracy breaking out after World War I. That's for sure. And that's one of the goals. So that, to me, clearly fails. America's democracy was never in doubt in World War I. Yeah, there's the Zimmerman telegram that we're trying to hey, well, if Mexico, you want to join the war, we'll support you, you attack America, we'll negotiate, one of our negotiating things, we'll try to get your land back that you lost. Yeah, that wasn't going to happen. Mexico wasn't even going to think about doing that. It was more of the Britain, tapped into the telegraph lines, because a lot of them went through Britain, and decoded the message and gave it to the Americans. I believe very much so that it was a real, hey, well, why don't you offer these Mexicans to do this thing, trying to sort of get another Ottoman Empire, another weak man of the world to join the Central Powers, as it were. But I don't think it was serious, really, on anybody's side. But Britain made as much as it could out of it to try to get another ally into the war. But America's democracy, or America's government, was never in doubt or in question or whatever. So, yeah, American ships had been torpedoed, and Germany, wrongly in my opinion, and Germany put up unrestricted warfare. And you can talk legitimately. You can talk about sitting, outside of territorial waters, but in the region of an enemy country, and sinking ships coming to that country. But when they're out in the Atlantic, way out in the Atlantic, who knows if that ship is going to go to Britain, or if it's going to go to Norway or to Denmark, which are at peace, or Spain, which was at peace. So the American shipping, was just out in the ocean. And yeah, a lot of it was going to Britain and France, bringing over passengers or war material. But still, it was wrong of Germany to sink American ships that weren't near British ports. Yeah, I know it sort of puts Germany at a disadvantage, but still. It was wrong for Germany to do it, and it was stupid of them to agree to stop doing it, and then to start doing it again, saying, well, we're changing our minds. That just, that really pissed America off. So yeah, it wasn't to do that. Now, war to end war. This is... a progressive's idea of the world. The progressives believe that, not like technological progress, and we can look, at least in the Western world, there is some, I would say, cultural progress going on, in that slavery, which was a common condition in humanity prior to 1750. I'll be fairly safe that humanity, from China to Native Americans, as they like to be called now, in North and South America, but definitely also in North America, took slaves. Africans took slaves of each other. India, their very rigid caste system. I don't know if they technically had slaves, probably debt slaves, but I don't know. So, and of course, Arabs taking slaves. They were theoretically unable to take other Muslims as slaves. I say theoretically. So they would raid other parts of the world for slaves. So it was a common condition. Oh, yes, and Europeans too. But most Europeans, they're not the major slave takers in the history of humanity, or at least the latter Europeans taking African slaves, I should say, because Roman Empire, huge amounts of slaves. Yeah, so there is a little bit, but the idea that wars are going to end, well, because we have conflicts in ideas, conflicts around that we can see today, like in Ukraine. Wars are not going to end. So if you have somebody who claims that we're going to fight this war to end wars, I mean, that's what he sold to the American people. Germany didn't think they were fighting the war to end all wars. Britain and France didn't think they were fighting the war to end wars. It was just the latest war. This is Wilson's idea of what to do, why to go in and fight this. And those that are advocating for NATO, now I understand why Ukrainians, and I actually talk to one or two Ukrainians once in a while, as in the last few days, giving me little updates on what they're experiencing. And of course they would like to see, NATO help, directly enter the war. And I don't blame them for wanting it, but all the rest of people in NATO countries or whatever thinking we should enter the war. They don't understand the nature of what's going on, because a no-fly zone is directly entering the war. Because you, like I've said in my video on it, the first thing you do for a no-fly zone is you attack all anti-aircraft emplacements, missiles and whatnot that could possibly be fired at your aircraft, which would be attacking units inside of Russia, as well as units inside of Ukraine. So it would be a direct attack on Russia. And a lot of the Americans and Europeans are so used to our neo-colonial wars in places like Iraq, Afghanistan, Mali, other North African countries, southern half of the Sahara, but countries that the French have been doing and have recently withdrawn from. I think it was Mali, or was it Niger? I forget which. To let the Wagner group, the Russian mercenaries, take over. Interesting little tidbit about that in the last few weeks or so, weeks, that they pulled out. The French pulled out entirely, turned over all their bases to the Wagner group because they weren't going to keep operating alongside the Wagner group. Wagner group, like I say, is Russian mercenaries. That those countries, yeah, there was 9/11. I know that triggers some people here, Hylam, but that they have attacked into the West, but they don't. Mostly, they don't threaten global nuclear war, the ability to have it, where Russia and China, as well as the U.S., and then maybe sort of, I don't think France and Britain could really nuke the globe. I mean, they could nuke anywhere on the globe because they have some nuclear submarines to get near enough and launch some missiles at a thing, but they can't take out the whole globe. It's really U.S., Russia, and China that can do so. So you really have to watch going into a war, and this is what I'm worried about here. It's like I'm saying, I'm making this on April 2nd, the U.S. declaring war here, and neither one of these two things, even though they won, neither one of these two goals, and goals that have for sure make the world safe for democracy in World War II. They didn't really sell us the war to end all wars or whatever in World War II, because that was clearly not the case here. And just on this day, spoke to Congress as just another person doing this stuff. War against Germany, neutrality is no longer feasible or desirable where the peace of the world is involved. 86% members voted in favor of the U.S. entering the war formally on April 6th. So it took them a few days to discuss the request, but I also, neutrality is no longer feasible or desirable where the peace of the world is involved. And you can see how both of these things can be, that I'm worried that Biden or Zelensky or somebody else will get up on a stage, because all I'm hearing about is Madman Putin or war criminal Putin is declaring war a crime? Not necessarily. Have there been war crimes in the Ukrainian war? Probably. Are there but all it takes is one person to go commit a crime in the middle of a war, and it becomes a war crime. again, I'm not in favor or supportive of Russia's invasion. I believe it is wrong. I believe it is a bad thing. I do believe that the West should sell. I would prefer that they sell them. Then you can pay us later, sort of lend-lease kind of selling. Not lend-lease as in lend them the weapons and get leases for bases. We shouldn't be looking for bases in Crimea or Ukraine generally, or Crimea or whatever, but that region. But the idea of, hey, we'll give you the weapons today, pay us sometime in the future, but officially put down that they owe us the money. That way, it makes weapons sales and not giving weapons. And you can see this is taken from two different sides of the same room. Two photos. I'm all for having weapon systems, and laws and whatnot, and stingers and whatnot, all being sent into Ukraine. I think that's perfectly fine and legitimate. And if China wants to sell weapons or give weapons to Russia to go fight, yeah, that's fine. If some country is supporting, I don't support it, but it's not an act of war for China to give weapons to Russia to go use them. But this war criminal Putin, this madman Putin talk, I'm worried that it is going to be, no longer feasible or desirable when the peace of the world is involved, that we must get into this Crimea. Or just keep saying Crimea, because I'm thinking of the peninsula there too. This Ukrainian war. That is not going to have a good outcome if NATO gets involved. So please, everyone, this is an important lesson to learn. The stated goals of World War I were not achieved, even though the Allies were victorious. So be careful when you go into a war. Now, going into Afghanistan, well, they harbored wasn't really a nation state, but they harbored an NGO, non-government organization called the Taliban, that attacked the U.S., so they got attacked back. There's reasons to go to war, and I will support national interest. There needs to be a national interest, and it is not to make the world safe for democracy or to end wars or just because the world is at war. Now, when the Nazis, Hitler, that was a different show, meaning Germany was not really trying to take over the world. It was trying to get a little more territory in the West and a bunch more territory in the East. Yeah, and, Austria-Hungary was, slowly encroaching down into the Balkans and had their Archduke assassinated. So, it wasn't a world conquest war, at least by the supposed aggressors or by the losers of the war. And so neither is Putin is not trying to conquer the world. He is not Hitler number 2. He is trying to rebuild the old Soviet boundaries. I do believe that he wants to go beyond Ukraine, but he is not trying to conquer Paris or London. Oh, also, did you know, everyone? Here's the kicker. Who's at war? I don't know if anybody in chat, who other than Ukraine, not a non-European country, who's at war with Russia right now? Who is at war with Russia? Can anybody in chat tell me who's at war, literally at war with Russia? You've heard of the country. No one can tell me who's at war with Russia. Yes, Martik got it. Japan. They had been for a long, long time in theoretical negotiations over Yeah, they never got the peace treaty signed after World War II over the Sakhalin Islands and island and a couple other little islands up there, and because of the situation in Ukraine, negotiations broke down and have stopped. And when you stop negotiating, that means technically you're back at war, because I think it would be something considered a ceasefire and then negotiating. So yeah, Japan is now back at war with Russia. Yeah, and I want to read. Yeah, but sadly, most people aren't virtuous enough and are easily manipulated to behave in a certain way. Yes, absolutely. There's mass psychology. I've just taken a college course on it way back whenever that dealt, or at least part of the course dealt with mass psychology. So no expert, but mass psychology and the internet and radios and whatever all play into the situation. So I'm just worried. I'm seeing parallels. I see parallels in previous histories. People say, history really doesn't repeat itself. It just rhymes. Well, however you want to fucking say it, it's history repeats. Not, exactly, just because we declared war on Germany last 2 times, we'll accidentally declare war on Germany again. Just, oh shit, we're so used to declaring it on Germany. No, it may not be exactly the same thing, but I see the same trend here, and seeing how this is maybe a day or two. I'll release this after. I know I'm making it live here for those who watch the end of the live stream here, but it'll be released between April 2nd and April 6th. Is when these happened, and I see the same pressures, the same, if you will, do-gooder people in Washington, D.C. that are blaming an enemy and trying to make virtuous sounding noises that could get us into another war. And I think it's dangerous. I don't think they know what they're playing with. So I thank you all for watching. Thanks, Martik, for your input there. I do appreciate it. And hey, if you have any comments, questions, and tell me why I'm wrong. I mean, if you're civil, I love for you, the change my mind thing. Yeah, change my mind. But I don't think you will. I mean, I'm open to it if you give me good enough facts. But post below, like it. If you're new here, please subscribe. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, that's sort of the special I wanted to make. I'm going to use one of these photos here as the thumbnail with some nice stuff here. Get it out in a day or so. For those of you who care, I know there's still a few of you around. We will be playing War Thunder tomorrow. Probably Arno and maybe a few other people if you want to join me. Anybody can join us. We'll make room. We'll switch up. And Thursday I'll be back on Slytherin playing Valor and Victory again. And I'll be back next weekend for more Hearts of Iron and other things. So, and of course stuff on YouTube. So thank you, everyone. Do appreciate it. Thanks, Arno, for your support, being a good moderator. So, talk to you guys later.